Привет из Сингапура! С вами передача «ГолубьМира», где разбираем крутые навыки. Спрашиваем на английском, отвечаем на русском. Подтягивайте язык или смотрите перевод в тайм-кодах. Let's talk about management of impressions and let's start with the definition.
There are even the same definition, economy of the impressions. When we go to buy some food or maybe some stationery, we look for mouse, for pen, for paper, and looking is it is well packed. But if упаковка, packing. If packing is so
Package.
important, package. If package so important, for example, if we buy a toothpaste, we throw away this small box and we just use the tube. But anyway, if we will put this stuff in good boxes, everyone will think maybe we should try it. The same with the pictures. When we saw some restaurants, Chinese or Pan-Asian food, they often use good pictures, nice pictures, and you became even hungry when you look at them. Or, for example, if you will go to France or Italy, you will see that some small shops will put fresh veg, French fruits, and maybe jamon or salami on the front window, and you see them and you even smell them. I remember such situation in Kiev, close to the central bus station. There is a factory named after the previous president of Ukraine, Roshen. Poroshenko, it's his surname, and Roshen is part of his name. And what's funny about this factory, when you come through, they use some ventilation and they put vanilla flower. And when you smell it, you definitely want to buy some desserts, some torts.
So it seems like when someone trying to manage your impressions, they're looking into different areas of your perceptions. So when it comes to the fundamentals and the building blocks of how exactly make this management or economics efficient, what are the key things?
First, use all the human senses. For example, I was in Canarian Island. I was in hotel. Its name was Obama. It was a funny time. It was a time when Barack Obama was going to be president of the United States, and the name of hotel was Obama. It's almost the same. And when I was entering this hotel, I was greeted by general manager because I was working on the project, especially for this chain of hotels. And he told me everything in this hotel is made by feng shui. And I was looking and I was just wondering, where is this feng shui? Okay, I know this, but how to feel it? Then I was calling to restaurant and I was asking, is there any free table for me? And suddenly the very confident voice was saying, let me see. And after, I don't know, 20 seconds, I got answers. Yes, we will reserve the table for you. When I come to this restaurant, I was just quite alone. No one was there. I was just a single person. And suddenly I got a chief and he asked me, I know you are a special guest and general manager told me to be very attentive. Let me give you some our specific food. And I say, yes, okay. Suddenly he take a huge lobster and this sword of Japanese style, like katana, throw this lobster away and in the air cut it in pieces, and that put this all pieces on the table and use some sachet. Sorry, what's the name of Japanese vodka?
Sake.
Sake, yes, sake. And I see this flesh is hard beaten and this is almost fresh. And I was thinking, should I eat it? And it was even a bit unpleasant. But it is quite often. For example, when I was in China, I was eating the brain of green gray monkey.
And when it comes to the levels of impressions that you actually can do, maybe it could be a scale, it could be the length of how long this impression will last so that you actually can tell the stories. What are the steps that the one person or maybe the company could take in order to make it efficient?
You should have a story. For example, I was on Gamera Island, it also a Canarian, and I was in a small tavern, and I was not expecting nothing special. It was the same beer, the same potatoes, the same fish. But suddenly I note that waiters speak by themselves by the whisper, свистом.
Whistle.
With whistle, yes, correct, with whistle. So I asked, what is this? And suddenly I was explained it is an ancient way how пастухи, shepherds were talking in the valleys, and these waiters, they know how to speak with this. And I was wondering, wow, it is very impressive. When I was in Lima, it's Peru, I was asking to have some corn, and suddenly I get a glass gem corn. When you will find every bit of this have a different color, and I used to eat like white one or yellow one, but all of them were colorful like a rainbow, and it is really impressive. And also it was another way. I was in Austria and I was in hotel also. This was a project. Recently I asked owner of this hotel if I'm allowed to get like half day, yes, for sure, for money, some ski equipment. And he told me, yes, okay, you can ask such a boy. I asked this boy, and this boy helped me to wear everything on me. And I asked him, how long should I go to the elevator to go on the peak? And I saw the smile on his face, but I didn't recognize what's the funny things. Suddenly he opened me a door, and I was standing already on the peak. I was coming to this hotel at night by helicopter. I didn't know that we are already on the peak, and I just slide from it, and I was so happy.
Oh, that's great impression management indeed. But giving that impression is a quite fragile instance, so substance. So probably there are ways to actually not to go into the right direction or maybe ruin it completely. So what are the mistakes or steps the creator should avoid in order to make the experience delightful?
You know, you used the right word, fragile. The difference, the border between your wandering and hate is quite thin. I was in Africa. I couldn't remember. It was Kenya or Tanzania. And I was in bungalow with animals. And there were some small gang with Kalashnikov rifles. Rifles. Is it okay to say it in this way?
Right. They also say AK.
Okay. And suddenly there were some shots. I was looking from my balcony. I was astonished to see they killed some big wild animal. I don't know exactly. Maybe it was jaguar. Maybe it was puma. It is some mixture of puma or leopard. I don't know exactly. And I was asking why you kill it, and they say it was trying to reach to the houses. And I was so wondering. So people kill animals on their territory because they are trying to protect us tourists. But I think we were just well protected, and it was not easy to see. Another way, I was in Singapore and I was living in Kondo. I was working for Maria Bay Sands, and I was swimming in the pool, and there were a glass in this pool, and on the other part of this pool were small sharks. But I didn't know. I just jumped in the pool, and suddenly I saw a shark. I am an experienced diver. I don't like sharks. I just got out of the swim, and I was shouting to everyone, there is a shark, there is a shark. And a lot of people were smiling, and I was ashamed. And then I was not allowed by myself to go to the swimming pool because everyone will laugh from me.
Well, I do believe sometimes a nice impression could lead to nice and long-lasting memory. And talking about the time, there is also might be a different dimension when the impression is created before, so that the moment of culmination is when you just like witness certain activity, or it could be something which lasts after. So when you see something, you don't understand how it works, but over the time, you get some knowledge, you get some insights, and you realize, oh, this is exactly what I see. It has like so many layers. So it could be your imagination, or it could be well-crafted design of the management of the impression. So how to manage it in this way, like put it into the time perspective?
I was on Maldives. It was like 5 years ago. It was our just married time. I don't know how to say свадебное путешествие. Just marriage time?
It's called honeymoon
Yes,
travel.
correct. It was honeymoon travel on Maldives, and the staff of the hotel was already involved. This is also my clients. They were from Australia, and they promised to give us unforgettable impressions. Okay, this may be 2 or 3 days. We are on island, nothing happens, and I'm a bit worried because I already said to Inessa that maybe we'll have some unforgettable memories. Suddenly, maybe on fourth or fifth day, it was an announcement. Come on, guys, you should come, and we will have to see the movie. I was wondering, what is the fun to see the movies? Suddenly I found that they created a cinema in the woods, just 2 chairs, a big linen sheet, and some laser beam projector. And it was a movie on the Russian language and popcorn. I don't know how they managed to get on this island popcorn, but we were just completely happy. A lot of people were coming, but everyone was told, come on, guys, they have a honeymoon, so this is special occasion for them. You see stars, you see the movie, you have this popcorn, which is impossible to buy even for money. And it was a moment of pleasure.
Right. And when it comes to the teamwork, so there is such a funny word called wingman. So actually, when the one guy trying to date another girl, he would use his friend in order to how to say, like, praise him, like tell good words about the person, or maybe like help to like prepare a good impression of the person way in advance. So when it comes to, let's say, like a business or even a personal life, or maybe even a corporate things, how to play as a team in order to move the person to the right impression towards the project, the process, achievement, or the person, or even a group of people.
I was in Iran, and it was a time when Iranian government wants to buy a kernel of my antivirus to protect their security. And I was invited by Iranian ambassador. I was flying by regular plane, and then when I was trying to get off the plane by this ladder, just usual official ladder, suddenly a huge black car came, and there are several men in uniform with special signs. They greet me, grab me, and I was asking, is there any way to take my baggage? They say everything will be delivered, and then we were put in some small plane, and then we were flying, and suddenly I realized that the plane make a cycle, and I asked them, do we make a cycle? And one of the officer, high-ranked officer, he told me, definitely, sir, we should show our capital from the helicopter view. And it was funny. So it was time like flying like 3 minutes, but suddenly we were flying around the city, and in the earphone I was listening to the pilot who was telling us what we saw on the ground.
So it's definitely a good impression on the country and the people that you work with. And last question will be how knowing about the management or economics of impressions would help to make this world a better place.
When you already used to great service, you will notice if it is not complete. For example, you will go to toilet and you feel not a good smell. You will drink the water and you will find that it is not easy to drink. You will eat the food and found that it is not perfect. So when you work with people which have a great level of success, they have a lot of money, they always ask not for service, but they always ask for impressions. They do not want to just go yacht fishing. They want to catch, for example, mahi or just marlin fish. So the biggest, the fastest, the rarest. The same with the food. For example, if you will go to New York and will ask, is there any fancy restaurant to impress someone? You will be advised to go really expensive steakhouse or even to some kind of dimples. There are dimples which made from meat and also with I don't know, liquid from the torch fish. And when you get this dish, it's cost more than 1,000 US dollars. This light will goes down, and you will see that these dimples are like phosphoric.
Управляйте впечатлениями, чтобы создавать яркие воспоминания для ваших друзей, коллег и клиентов. А мы рассмотрели навык управления впечатлениями и чем он полезен именно вам. Всем мира!